Hello, thank you for tuning in. My name is Larry Duncan Allen, and this is No More Water. Fire. Next time. If you saw my open I mentioned last night, if you saw where my doctorate certificate, and it goes to show you how this world operates. You can't believe everything you see. You know what I did to do that to get that doctorate certificate? Nothing. Just knew the right people. Just I didn't do a dissertation. I didn't do anything. If they give it, I take it. Want to give me another, and I'll take it to that too. There ain't no shame in my game. Because I know another friend of mine, he was an older guy. He said he got his doctorate, him and his friend of his, a guy, pretty powerful guy, used to sit up in the bar and talk. That's how he got his doctorate. So you can't pay these doctorates any attention. Some people get them and really work for them, but a lot of us don't. I didn't work for mine, but it means just as much to me. I got it. Okay, my subject tonight is about I did a show before about feminism in the Democratic Party, but because of some things I said last night, some people have been texting me. I said about black women, and look, I don't talk about people out of feelings. I know what I'm talking about when I said I can back it up with facts, and I can show you. Black women gotta quit thinking because everybody not calling you old mother god queen like old Umar Johnson bowing down to you, that they're bashing you. When that's how you do the black man all day long, really. But you never get better. You never listen. Think time somebody tell you something because you don't like it. That means it's wrong. There's just something that's right that you don't like. Everything about you not positive. So don't think people are always going to say positive things about you. I'm going to take it back. I ain't going to take it back because tonight I'm going to add some more to it. But before I get to my subject, there's this video I want to play. I want to touch on another subject real quick. This video that I want to play. And listen, watch this video.
Ladies and gentlemen, keep in mind that the Epstein files were in existence and free to have been opened during the Biden administration. You were there for 4 years. How come you didn't open it as a Democratic Party then? What am I missing? I'm not saying I know. It's a legitimate question. Maybe I don't remember the answer. Maybe my extraordinary producers should be able to help me during the commercial break. But from my understanding, the same files that were open or being open now with the 220 pages of documents or whatever it is, with various emails, that could have been done when Biden was in office. Well, why didn't you do it? If it's so important now. What were the Democrats doing at that particular moment in time? This is the kind of stuff that smells. Because my attitude is just deducing how much they despise Trump is if there was some real bona fide dirt on him, since you went after him with the 34 felony convictions, which essentially was deduced to him paying hush money to Stormy Daniels, a porn star, just so she wouldn't reveal their happenings with one another leading up to the election in 2016. Okay? If you had something like that you were willing to parade him through the streets with, of course, if you had something on him about Epstein, you'd have let it go earlier to make sure he didn't become the 47th president. That's just my thinking from a logical perspective. But what do I know?
Don't seem to be much, The only thing sticking up something is him, because I'll tell you why. This Democrat has to do everything perfect. But look, I'm going to tell you how the Epstein files became a priority with the Democrats. And really not as much as you think. Trump ran his presidential campaign on opening the Epstein files. But then when he became president, he didn't want to do it. Well, the MAGA base was so strongly behind Trump What happened was the Democrats saw the Epstein files as the only kink in that MAGA armor. So of course they're going to go after it. That's the only way they saw that they could get to him. That's why they're going after it. The Epstein file just wasn't important to him because at the time they was interested in what he was doing against the state. And see, the thing about it is this. He's confusing Biden with Trump. Biden don't tell his Justice Department what to go after, like Trump does. See, he thinks everybody's corrupt as Trump. He knows his Justice Department didn't go after because they was going after things that he had done against the state, but this Stormy Daniels thing came up. But Biden didn't instruct his Justice Department to go after people. Yeah, the Democrats are talking about the Epstein files now because they see it as a way to get to Trump. There was no other way to get. It seemed like the MAGA was so strongly behind him, but like this was the only thing that was tearing MAGA apart. So I don't blame them for going after it now. And you know what? The Democrats didn't make the Epstein files, didn't use it as a provision to open the government back up. They were after health care, which I think they should still went after because there's so much Trump has done and even been charged with and nothing happens to him. Now, I hate to see him go through this and nothing happens to him, and you still don't get a reprimand on health care. You don't get to see that even though that bill is out there, it can be amended. Any bill can be amended. So yeah, that's why they went after the Epstein files because they didn't really go after it. They're just in on it now since it's out there because that was the only kink they saw in that MAGA armor, and I don't blame them. Now, getting back to my original topic about is feminism destroying, is it ruining the Democratic Party? I say yes. You see, if you notice, when you ask a Republican why did they vote for Trump, they'll give you a one sentence or one word answer. They just tell you for such and such, for such and such. You ask a Democrat why they vote Democratic, they give you a laundry list of things. They've made things so complicated, and it's mostly following behind the feminist agenda. You see, when a man is setting policy, he make it simple for the people to see. When women do it, they make it so complicated. See, feminists have always been trying to please everyone. You can tell when something is under the feminist flag. Gotta go after everyone. Well, what are you for? Well, I'm for they don't say black men. I'm gonna tell you that right now, even when it's a black woman. And some black men have started saying this. I'm for women, people of color, the homosexuals, the freaks, and the immigrants. And who's left out of that? Black men. You see, you can go through history. I'm going to play you a video right quick first, though, and let you see this.
Young men aren't going to support the Democrat Party because they're not welcome there. And they understand that. They've never been welcome there. Masculinity is not welcome there. You can't be a man in the Democrat Party. You have to be a modified version. You have to accept state-sponsored masculinity. In other words, this is a man, we're going to reduce you down to an approved, legislated, emotionally intelligent, by our terms, new masculinity. This modified, state-sponsored man who's lockstep with LGBT propaganda, lockstep with feminism, accepts this more like a happy wife, happy life type of mindset. And masculinity is evil, and men need a list of things that they can't do, but women can do anything. That's the message from the left.
And I totally agree with him. Women want a man to be a man on her terms. And she can do things any way she wants to. When she a real man, who the hell is you to tell somebody who's a real man or not? You concentrate on being a real woman. You don't want to listen when people tell you about running around here all big and fat and masculine. The average woman, black woman now, weigh more than black men. And just as masculine as you can be. When you see a black woman talking, don't you see her doing this with her hands? That's a masculine quality. You don't see other women doing that. No one but black women. And then when a woman is masculine, she's strong, she's bold, she's a leader. When you see masculinity in a man, it's toxic. There's no such thing as toxic masculinity. That's just something that feminists created. So what is toxic when a woman walks around here masculine? That's what's toxic. So what is toxic femininity? See, anytime you have something going one way, then you should have it going the other way also. It swings back and forward. But with women with men, it only swings one way. In the Democratic Party, when they saw that black men black men still voted overwhelmingly Democratic. Some was pulling away. They never even tried to address the issue. They just talked about him, tell him what he better do. Well, that made more go leave when you talk to them like that. Even Obama. Don't tell black men like they better vote for Kamala Harris. I think they should vote for her because I did. And if she run again, I'll vote for her again. But you can't come to these men and tell them what they better do. Obama or anyone else. But see, one of the problems is, see, black women have identified more with women issues than black issues. Because that's how you talk about women this, women that. When you notice when black men talk, we talk about black people. Black women talk about black women. Then every now and then they may mention black men. But it used to be black people. We didn't used to separate black men and black women like that. We used to just say the black vote. There wasn't no black man vote and black woman vote. When men was running the Democratic Party, the Democratic machine, because men had a machine. That's why the Democrats was getting all those votes. That machine was built by Jesse Jackson, Roy Ennis, Julian Bond, Andrew Young, people like that. They built organizations. They worked with CORE. They worked with the Urban League and SLIC and with all type of Rainbow Coalition. What organization have black women built since you all been running the political process? Running things in the community. And I'm going to tell you how you start running things too. What organizations have you built for black people? I'm not talking about something for yourself, something for women. What have you built for black people? None whatsoever. That debacle of Black Lives Matter, some women built that, but that wasn't really an organization. It was more of a slang or slogan. I'll get back to that a little later too. But look, black men after it was around the 70s when women started taking over. It was like black people right after the civil rights movement. Black men was building co-ops and the black people was on the rise again. But then feminism came in. And they had the black women, they were giving them federal jobs, government jobs, and black men couldn't get them. And they were actually making fun of black men. One of them was married, she started making a lot of money. Then especially when they started getting those really high paying government jobs, divorcing their husband. They had an old saying, black women had a saying in the 70s. A black man ain't SHIT. Then it changed to a N word, ain't S-H-I-T, like, you not considered that too. You notice how black women think the N word only applies to black men and not to them? But that's why when they call you, that you get so upset. You thought it was just for us. But the thing is, and then black women it was like the police was siding with the women, the courts, everything just so the black men just kind of laid back and let the women run things, and we haven't made any gains since. And you all know it. I know you don't like what I'm saying, but you ain't gotta like it. Cause you don't like it don't mean it's not right. I'm not saying it for you to like it. A matter of fact, listen to this and show you what I'm talking about.
White women love to say we're all in this together, but are we? Because history suggests otherwise. Feminism has frequently been about white women first, expecting Black, Indigenous, Latina, and Asian women to stand behind them, not beside them, behind them. And if we're being honest, it only ever seems to matter when they're the ones that are affected. This isn't about division, it's about reality. Let's talk about it. From the very start, white women have been centered in every movement that they've led. While women of color, we've been expected to serve. Black women were enslaved, forced to raise white children, clean white homes, and cook white families' meals, while their own families suffered. Indigenous women were displaced, stripped of their land, and forced into assimilation schools designed to erase their culture. Asian women were brought as cheap labor, confined to back-breaking jobs, and denied the right to citizenship. Latinas have long been exploited in this country, in agriculture and domestic work, and paid pennies for labor that sustains this country. And when white women started pushing for rights, for equality, for change, they expected women of color to fight right beside them, but never for them. Women of color stood side by side with white women, fighting for the right to vote. But when the 19th Amendment passed in 1920, white women celebrated. Black women in the South still blocked from the polls for another 45 years. Indigenous women, not even considered citizens until 1924. Asian women, legally barred from becoming citizens, which meant they couldn't vote until 1952. And Latinas, they faced literacy tests and language barriers that kept them from the ballot box. And white feminists, they moved on. They got what they wanted, and just like that, our fight became an afterthought. In the 1960s and 70s, a second wave of feminism came about. White women, now they were fighting for equal pay, reproductive rights, and workplace equality. Sounds great, right? Until women of color said, what about racism? What about forced sterilization? What about economic discrimination? That's what keeps us underpaid and overworked. The response was essentially, let's focus on women's issues first, as if racism, medical discrimination, and generational poverty weren't women's issues. Once again, our struggles were too complicated, too messy, too inconvenient for the feminism that they were building. And once again, white women expected us to fight beside them, but not for ourselves. Now let's talk about who white women actually fight for. Because if you want to know where someone stands, you look at their vote. In 2016, 53% of white women voted for Trump, a man who openly bragged about SA. In 2020, they tried to fix it by voting him out. And in 2024, the majority of them put him right back in office. Meanwhile, 92% of Black women, we voted to protect everybody. The polls don't lie. Latinas and Asians, Indigenous women continue to fight for sovereignty and representation. But white women, too many chose whiteness over sisterhood again. And here's what's wild. Feminism always expects us to march, to organize, to fight. But when it's time for white women to show up where it really matters, they don't. White feminists today expect women of color to be front and center when their rights are under attack. They want us out in the streets for Roe v. Wade, but where were they when Black and Indigenous women were being forcibly sterilized? They want us to fight for equal pay, but won't acknowledge that Black and Latina women still make significantly less than them. They'll post Black Lives Matter, but won't call out the racism in their own families, their friend groups, or their workplaces. Because here's the truth. White feminism only truly mobilizes when white women feel the impact. The moment they're comfortable again, the urgency disappears. This isn't about division, it's about accountability. Throughout history, women of color have stood beside white women in their fight for equality, led movements for racial and social justice, often alone. built coalitions, voted for change, and showed up, whether or not it benefited us directly. And what we've seen over and over again is when white women get what they need, they move on. It's not bitterness, it's reality. And we finally heard y'all loud and clear.
You know what? To a lot of people that may sound prolific. But you know what about that though? White women did just what they supposed to do. Use you like a $3 hoe. You know why? Why are you out there side by side with white women instead of side by side with black men in our fight? Have you ever seen black men get with white men and stand with them on white men issues? That's foolish. It was just as foolish when you all did it. I'm gonna show you how black women have thrown black men under the bus many times. Come, black men, listen to this though. When white women was trying to get the vote in the 20s, black women was out there with them. But you know what happened? They used black women, they got the vote, and black women didn't. So what black women was doing, you was gonna try to go with white women and get the right to vote instead of with black men. That means black women would have been able to vote, but black men wouldn't. See how many times you thrown us under the bus? Black men, you look through history. Don't get mad. Listen, if you look through history, anything black men do to achieve, he do it for not just black men, he do it for black people. He never tried to achieve anything without black women also. But you all many times go out and try to achieve things and say to hell with the black man. But you want us to keep looking out for you. Why was you out there with those white women? And look how many times she said they use black women. They use you once, next time they do it again, then again, then again. And they fill your head with this feminism stuff. You know they had those feminist moves, you know what those white women would do? They go to those meetings, they're the head of it. Talk all that big feminist trash. But you know what they did when they went home? They became a wife and a mother. A wife to their husband and a mother to their children. But the black woman went home, and the black man, she didn't have no business being there because the black man wasn't oppressing her like the white man was. He wasn't stopping you from voting. He wasn't giving you less pay for the same work, keeping you on domestic jobs. That wasn't the black man doing that. But the black woman went home full rage because that feminist talking trash to her husband. He couldn't have no rest at night because of her mouth. I know about it. I know what I'm talking about. Why would you keep letting these white women use you? You had no business out there with them. You should have been marching with black men. That's who you should have been for black people issues, not for no damn women issues. You never seen black men. Matter of fact, you don't see black men marching for men issues. They march for black issues. But black women go out, everything they do is for women. Black women show more allegiance to white women than you do to black men. The only time you come to black men is you get cracked upside the head or something. Then you want to talk about where the men at. Well, go to them people you aligned yourself with. Let them protect you. You want to be under their burden, go ahead. You ran off on us so many times. That was so ridiculous what she was saying. How they kept using us and you kept letting them use you. You had no business out there with them white women. If some black men go and march with some white men on some men issue, but you black women would call us everything but a child of God, and you know it. But you've done it to us many times. And this feminist stuff have made black women so masculine because, and you know what? I live stream funerals sometimes. A lot of times it be an older woman and they'll have her there, and they may they would describe her, and they'll be talking about it, saying what she did and how she talked to people and all. And you know what would come into my mind? Now, if that was a man they were talking about, they would say he's an idiot. When a black man shows aggressive traits, it's toxic. But when black women do it, it's strong. Everything backwards with black people. We do everything backwards. Everyone else is in a patriotic system. We're the only one in a matriotic system. If you ask people, go through their bloodline, who's your mother? Who's your grandmother? You don't measure your bloodline through women. You measure through men. Your father is your bloodline. Yes, your mother's relatives are your relative just as much. But your bloodline is traced through the man, not the woman. They always talk about all DNA is from a black woman on the earth. No, it's not. That's a lie people keep saying. Life did not start with women. It started with men. Men contain the seed of life. Men give life, women give birth. And then people keep telling you life started with the black woman. No, it didn't. She can't make no baby. She don't contain the seed of life. She can't make no baby by herself because she needs the seed of life. She don't have that. The man does. But they say it to the women because people try to eliminate black men. You even hear men saying it. If you notice, all through these campaigns, you didn't hear. They say the black men, a lot of them are not voting for Kamala Harris, which most did. They're like as though 80% of black men was voting for Trump. But if they weren't, why come you didn't find out why? No one even tried to find out why. They just talked about him, but they didn't talk to him. Anytime things deal with men, when men do something, people don't go and talk to him. They talk about him. Oh, he's old man, this, that. But when it's a woman, you try to find out why. You've destroyed the Democratic Party. You haven't set up any kind of organization. When Stacey Abrams ran in Georgia, I knew she wasn't going to win because of the way they was handling it, treating it like a sister girl movement, just like they did with Kamala. And another thing I said that people really found offense with, I said Stacey Abrams is not going to win because white people, especially white men, you take more than black people down in Georgia to make her governor. I said white people, especially white men, is not going to vote for an obese black woman. Oh, you body shame, that's how an idiot responds. What I said was a fact. Why come you can't respond to a fact with a fact? You got to start with all, then they start with all, you old, you bald head. But how is that helping your issue any? Yeah, I'm old. I'm glad I did that. Don't be blaming me because I didn't die young. Like you may probably go into. And you know what? Let me tell you something. When I was younger, I used to make fun of bald headed men. But look, you gotta quit thinking every time somebody try to tell you something you don't like it, they bashing you. Oh, he hate women. Oh, who hurt him? Those the regular response you all give. Those deflection response. But you talk about men all day long on social media. Who hurt you? You see, anything women touch by themselves, you destroy. Let's go down the line. Oh, I know you don't like this. You're raising families by yourself. Another thing, you destroyed that. The majority of your sons end up in jail. They're so emotional. They argue like a woman. But look, and these men, stop this stuff tomorrow. He left his family. You all were never a family in the first place. People just having babies with each other. You never were a family. You go out here and have these babies, and somebody, he walked out. He never walked in. He's just somebody you had a baby with. Or two or three. So cut that foolishness out. Why did he leave though? See, that's another thing I'm talking about. Nobody ever tried to get the man's side. You think these men just walking off leaving these children who were there, the few that were there? Why did he leave though? They try to make it seem like he don't want responsibility when that's not what statistics says. The statistics say, and these are white folks statistics, so you might believe them, and also blackdemographics.com. Black men are the most engaging fathers than any other fathers. Black men read to their children and they nurture their children, change their children, the baby, more than any other men, even those who are not living in the home. So this deadbeat dad is a stereotype that black women started. Is there some deadbeat dads? There's always going to be. Why black people don't have to be perfect at deadbeat dads. Woman, mama can be deadbeat, living right there in the house with the kids, letting them do any kind of thing. But look, you all want to keep your mouth on black men all the time. As soon as somebody says something about you, yeah, I'm talking about you tonight, you want to get mad. But I'm talking facts. Those black women, I told you about Black Lives Matter. I know you're turning me off now. They started Black Lives Matter. They never built it up as an organization. It was more of a slogan. You had people in all white towns yelling Black Lives Matter. Every black protest was coined Black Lives Matters. When the organizations that black men had a march or any type of situation, you knew it was them because it was sanctioned by the organization. Okay, those no one knew where their headquarters was at. It was mostly just by a website. During the George Floyd incident, they collected, some people say 100 million, some say 150 million. But let's just say $100 million. They bought mansions. They bought Bentleys. They went through that money. $20 million mansion and luxury cars and all that. Then they said, "What you buy that mansion for?" That's $20 million mansion, 6-room, $20 million mansion. Well, that's a safe house for the community. Way over on the other side of the town in just 6 rooms. Like I said, you bought a building old school or something, fix it up for a safe house. They're in prison. Except one, because she snitched on the other two. All 3 have been in prison more than once. Because the 2 in there now just got out for fraud. But yet these are the ones who's leading Black Lives Matter. If you want something done, organizing, you got to get some men to do it. Women are poor at organizing. White women too. And I'm tell you, what's this other one I have? What is it about the people? Oh yeah, I want you to hear this one about why. This tells you why a lot of black women lost government jobs, and you're not gonna like it. You don't have to like the truth. You just have to accept it. Quit thinking everybody's supposed to say stuff that sound good to you, because you got problems too. Instead of throwing everything at black men, you got to take it too. And just like that woman on that video, she talking about all these Asian women. Why the hell she worried about all them other women? They not worried about you. The Latino women, the Asian women, let them tell their own plight. Let them tell what happened to them. Because when they talk, they don't talk about black women. They talk about themselves. I don't know why black women want to be worried about everybody except black men. You're not concerned about us because you don't even mention us. You only mention yourselves and people of color and everybody except black men. I heard you say, well, women, or you see either say women or black women, people of color, and go down the list. And black men completely left off. So we're going to start leaving you off if you keep it up. And see how far you get. Because you're not getting nowhere right now. But let me play this for you if some of y'all are still sticking around. Let me see, where is it at? Here it is.
Adolf Hitler tried to turn Germany into a socialist society. Adolf Hitler. So if you're doing something in relation to Adolf Hitler, are you? Let me back that up. Are you that's in the same perspective of Adolf Hitler? You're the Adolf Hitler, yeah? So you're taking no participation in a socialist society. Is that what you're saying? Okay. But you're getting welfare. Do you know that the perspective and narrative of a socialist society is gifts? A socialist society grows based on gifts. Every country that tried to be turned into a socialist society has never worked. The people rebutted. When you look at what happened in the last 30 years, every program that came out was specifically aimed at women, to give women gifts, right? They didn't give men anything. This is why you hear individuals say a woman can have 5 kids by 5 different men and get a house and get a car and everything, but a man and don't pay. But a man can have 5 kids by 5 different women and he goes to jail. Socialist society. So these women are feeling the breakdown in the socialist society. The money that was given to them is now being taken away, and all the people that take parts in the building of the socialist society, those are the slave-minded mentality people. And if you think you're not affected, or if you think that you have absolutely no partake in the building of a socialist society, let me tell you this, because you're uneducated, so allow me to educate you. Nerd Solo, Facts Unplugged. Dad's Traded for Child Support, weeknights. I'm going to be talking about this over on Dad's Traded for Child Support tonight at 8 p.m. But here's what I'm getting at. If you think you're not affected by the partake in building of a socialist society, then ask yourself this. Why are you affected at the breakdown of building of a socialist society? Ronald Reagan was talking about this 50 years ago. 40 years ago, excuse me. Why are you bothered by the breakdown and the building of a socialist society? You know why? Because you took gifts. Yeah, you did. You took gifts. So let me end it with this. If you gave them the right to feed your children, you also gave them the right to starve children. Welcome to the socialist society.
You know what? How did he know who's educated or not? See, if you're going to talk to the people, just talk to them. You don't know who's educated or not. But look, I get what he's saying that, see, women took a lot from the government. Black men didn't. He couldn't get, remember I was telling you before about those government jobs. When you deal with the government, they can take everything away from you anytime they get ready. Men get jobs mostly on the private and corporate scale. And see, the affirmative action, DEI, they only affected companies, the government, and companies that get government contracts. Black men got jobs at factory, warehouses, and they went to trade school, became electricians. Some and many. See, when people don't tell you, a record number of black men go to college also. But with black people, when it comes to good things, people only focus on the women and leave the men out. But when it comes to bad things, they focus on the men and leave the women out. But see, that's why men still make more money than women, no matter how many degrees you get. But see, the thing is, so the government took away. But what he said about you took, let me tell you, that part I don't agree with him on. I don't blame black. See, like with the jobs, I don't blame you for taking them. Don't get me wrong, I don't blame you. I don't blame black women for taking welfare if they need it. Food stamps, any that you get. See, when he said that, he forgot about the 400 years they woke your ancestors and never paid any reparations. And you weren't able to build generational wealth, keep you out of everything, then you have to get some food stamps or some welfare, want to talk about you. And a black man doing that. And he know how things have been. And a lot of times, well, what's the man doing his part? Why she have to get welfare? In some cases. Now, a lot of cases, it's just having babies by folks. But the thing is, I don't see nothing wrong with black people getting some government entitlements. They owe us a lot of entitlements, to be honest with you. That's not even beginning to be a part of reparations. That little bit of money. And who they find out benefiting more from welfare, food stamps? White people. Not just white women, but white men too. And that part, when I think a person wrong about black women, I say so. I don't totally agree with him. I know what he's trying to say. You took things from the government. That's why it's hidden. That's why it is hitting black women more. But they took what they supposed to take. I don't blame them. They needed more than that. Oh, the government, most black women got 6-figure jobs work for the government. So what? Really, they need to pay them 7 figures. So we paying them what they owe them. Anything black people can get out of this system, I said get it. Because they're not going to pay you reparations. You're not getting it. It could happen, but I don't see it. And I have to go by what I see. Looking at the facts that I see now, I have to say it's not coming. I hope it do. I sure won't mind. But I just don't see it. They've had all this time, and they just keep doing the same mess to us over and over again. That's why I said with black women, I'm not trying to talk about you to tear you down. I'm trying to build you up. But you got to cut this foolishness out, separating yourself from black men. Because no one else going to help you. That woman, the way she talking about them Asian women, let them talk for themselves. That's one thing I got about feminism. They try to include everybody in everything. See, that would turn one thing that turned a lot of men, black men and men away from the Democratic Party? That feminism stuff called feminism, want men to be feminine. Embrace all type of sexualities. No, men don't want to do that. Men, especially black men, get tired of hearing people equate homosexuality to their race. You being a homosexual is not on the level of our race. Quit putting us in the same vein with them. Homosexuality is not a race. It's not an ethnic group. Whatever it is, they don't have nothing to do with us. Let them fight for themselves. Let them Asians fight for themselves, them Latinos. We need to fight for ourselves like we always have. What's going on with them has always been on with us. Do you know, I told you this last night, that we just got under Jim Crow, from up under Jim Crow in 1964, 61 years ago. Do you know that under Jim Crow, you know how Emmett Till killer got away, even though they bragged about unaliving him on the courthouse steps with the sheriff? Under Jim Crow, a white person wasn't actually required to face charges in unaliving a black person. They didn't have to. And it's like that now, really. The only time they do something about it is if there's video evidence. Without video evidence, they get away. That's why you have to video these exchanges with police. You don't have to get all up in their face with the camera. That's what causes the problem. Your camera got zoom on it, don't it? I have video stuff like that, but I'll be all the way across the street and zoom in on it. I don't have to get all up in their face with it, because you're obstructing when you get all up in their face with the camera. Step back, zoom in. Yeah, but tonight, that's why I wanted to say, I'm saying this not because I want to shut black women down. I'm saying it because I know you're not gonna make it without black men. You may try. Things are getting worse for you instead of better, going off by yourself. It's getting worse, not better. It's not working out for you. But then when something happened to you, you want black men to come running. Remember that woman who claimed she got hit by a brick and said wasn't none of the men help her, and all the women was just on social media tearing black men down. They won't even help these. Men are not obligated to help these strange women who keep going getting themselves in trouble. Didn't think he's supposed to put his life and health on the line for her. What man burden is she under? Y'all don't even know nothing about that, do you? Every woman is not under every man's burden. The men of his household are the women of his household are the ones under his burden. When he's at home, the female of his household. When he got a family, the female of his household. He's not obligated to protect every woman out here. Most of these women getting out here boxing. They doing what they want to do. They're not damsels in distress. If they want to box, let them box. Men are not out here to correct your poor behavior. You're misbehaving. We're not out here to correct that. If mom and daddy didn't do it, what makes you think he's supposed to do it? Your man not doing it. Well, that's probably what you're fighting over, though. But look, that woman, they say she came from around. She was known for causing trouble. Came from around the building hollering, "Get him, get him!" And the men said they didn't see nothing happen. They're trying to figure out what happened. She's sitting there cussing them out, and come to find out it was a hoax. And you know what? I'm not saying I know everything, but I know a lot. When I saw her face red up, I said, well, if she got hit with a brick, why there's no mark on her face? It's just swollen up. They said she injected some saline in her face, because she did it before. She got like $45,000 off of GoFundMe. They said she had done it before. It was a hoax. But they tore black men down. Now, I wouldn't care what they say, 'cause I'm not out here trying to protect every woman out here. I protect the women under my burden. And most of these, they saw this man hit this woman, but what did he hit her for? Men is just not walking up to these women hitting them. What did she do? Someone need to be hit. Remember the woman had, I know I'm a loud subject, but you remember the woman whose 14-year-old son, he was in Chicago, went into the store and killed this man because he hit her. Unalived this man because he hit her. You remember that? She caused that mess. If you saw the video, you heard the man kept saying, "Woman, you better leave me alone. I'm telling you, I'm warning you, you better leave me alone." She kept fussing and hollering at that man and messing with him. Now me, I wouldn't pay no attention as long as she don't try to hit me. If she tried that, it's going to be a problem for her. And I'd had some for her son too, CCW. But so he got mad, he got angry, and he hit her. Cause see, what people say don't matter to me. But see, everybody not gonna walk away. That's why you can't mess with everybody. She calls her son in there with the gun, and he shoots the man. And then the man stumbled and was running out the door. She said, shoot him some more. And the boy ran outside and shot him some more. Why they wasn't charged, I don't know, because the threat was over. But yet they kept shooting the man. That means they meant to unalive him, not to reduce the threat. But the women get away with stuff like that. Now here she is, because of her misbehavior. A man has been unalived, and her 14-year-old son got a body. And I heard he's number trouble anyway. Don't worry, sooner or later, he'll be locked up or be a body himself. And she need to go right along with him. Yeah, see, so, but yeah, I know I get a little off subject sometimes, but I have to, you kind of tie things in together because I'm here by myself. If I had my panel, I'd bring them all in. But I just want to let you know, these black women, you all have thrown black men under the bus a lot. Running out trying to help white women. So I used to see some of you out there at the abortion clinic with those white women. Never saw a black man out there. Did you know that white women were the biggest opponent of abortion? That they're supposed to be your ally? You saw that woman on this video go down the list of things that white women have done. Now, why you keep trying to align with them if they've done all of that? Why are you trying to align with all these other women? Asian, Hispanic. The hell with them women. Look out for yourself. Look out for black people. And quit trying to line yourself with all these other people and line yourself with black men. We got to fight as a people. Not as black men and black women. Tell the truth. You black women would think black men was crazy. He get out there and try to line himself with white men and help white men fight for his issues. You call him a fool. But that's the way you look to us. Come on. We need to work together. You're not going to make it by yourself. We can make it by ourselves, but you can't. No women have ever made it by themselves. Because see, nobody else is going to help you. They don't like you. Why do you think black women do, white women do that to you? Asian women are going to align with you. They can't stand you. They can't stand black people, period. Hispanic women, they're going to see these other women, they talk that stuff. But they're going to stick with their men. Black women are the only ones who won't. And you've taken that mess to the Democratic Party. And it's just about ruined it. That feminism does not work. No matter how you look at it, it does not work out. All feminism is teaching women to try to be men, which you're not. And it's really has hurt black women bad. You're not getting married. Don't nobody want to marry no masculine acting woman. You're like you hate black men. You frown up time you see them. Give them poor, mean service in stores. Then the other women looking at you smile. And I tell you, these white women be on you. Old as I am, I get young white women talking to me. And when a man have had black women being mean to him, then he start making a little money. And these white women talking to him, treating him nice. Who you think he's going to get with? And lose some weight. Well, I'm not going to hold you long tonight. But thank you for tuning in to them. Oh, I told you about my doctorate degree. They gave me that, they gave it to me, so I took it. I didn't earn it. Dr. Duncan now. That don't mean nothing to me. I don't pay no attention to all that type of stuff. And you can't, there's all these old degrees. I didn't do nothing to earn. I didn't do a dissertation. I didn't study for it. Just did my job. This is in media science, but I just did my job. You know the right people you can get in there. I didn't ask for it. See, but they asked me, would you like it? So if you're going, yeah, I'll take it. They give it, I'll take it. They don't mean all that stuff don't mean nothing to me. But yeah, but I want to thank you for tuning in to No More Water, Fire, and Niggas. Don't get mad. Think, women. Don't get mad. You know what I said is true. I said you all get angry and want to start throwing stuff back at people. Oh, you this, oh, you that. How is that helping your situation then? Thanks for tuning in to No More Water, Fire, next time. I'll see you next time.